Hello, my name is Scuria-Herman, and today I'll be speaking on the topic of confidence. Now, I'm not necessarily someone you would consider to be overly confident. I've talked about this sort of in the past. I would generally say that I am not a very confident person. I have instead talked about how I lack any sense of shame. And I do think that sometimes the two get conflated. I think that because I've sort of battled myself and wondered, do I actually not have any shame if I'm not confident? It's two very different things because I'm not afraid of embarrassing myself. I'm afraid of messing up an opportunity for myself. And that's not shame, that's a lack of confidence. I haven't talked about it specifically, I believe, but there was an event that happened where essentially any shame that I had left completely removed from me. I don't think I'm special for that. I think anyone who went through that experience would have the same reaction that I did. So I don't think I'm special. I don't think anything like that. I think that this is just a normal thing that happened, and now I've just wound up with zero shame. Confidence is a different beast altogether. And what I've noticed is in the job market, I'm looking for a job right now, a second job. In the job market, confidence is valued more than skill. And the reason why I've realized that, I essentially have a bachelor's degree. I am graduating in a few months. I will graduate with a bachelor's degree with a minor in psychology. All these things that are kind of preferable in the job market. I'm not receiving as many job callbacks as I'd expect necessarily. Maybe not as I'd expect, but as I'd want, I guess, is what I'd really be saying. But what I've realized is that's not really because of skill. First off, it's because of nepotism. The main thing is the jobs that you see online aren't actually the jobs that are being offered. Those are just placeholders to appear as though there's more jobs available to inflate numbers. That's not the part of this video I'm talking about. The part that I'm talking about is the only reason you would get employed is because they like you as a person. That's what the interview is for. If you're not confident in an interview, you're not going to get the position. And as an unconfident person, I've realized when I do confident things, I essentially will succeed. And a very big example of this. Now, this is spring break currently. I was told that nobody is scheduled for hours this week, but I'd had a conversation with one of my, bosses, one of the co-chairs of the department, who had said that I should probably work some hours over spring break, probably one or two of my shifts. It wasn't finalized, it wasn't anything. I got the email that there were no hours, and I just emailed the person who emailed me, and I said, well, I thought I was scheduled for a shift over the break, and the person emailed me back pretty quickly and said, oh, I didn't know that. Okay, you can do that shift then. Despite it not being confirmed. It was simply this bad phrasing on my part that led me to seem more confident than I am, that simply, oh yeah, I was scheduled for this, and now what's going on here? Instead of saying I thought that idea was floated. Now I have these hours, now I have these extra hours, and I'm going to get more money for that. Simply because I was confident in my delivery accidentally. I think that sort of confidence in your employment is necessary to excel in the field. I think generally that's a very necessary skill. And that wasn't the only time that happened. That my last shift, I had to talk with a tech support guy. I've been talking with tech support for weeks and weeks about different problems at my job and different problems in my personal living status. But when the guy finally showed up and he came up to me, he said, "Are you the GA?" And I was confused. He thought I was a graduate assistant. He thought I was a graduate student, not a undergraduate. And I was like, "Oh, okay, that's me," because it's pretty much I'm a studio assistant. It's close enough. And I was like, okay. And then he said, "Yeah, your professor was calling us about a problem with a computer that we wanted to resolve. Is he around? His name was Daniel something." Because I was so confident over the phone, they didn't think that I was an assistant. They thought that I was a full professor. And not only that, they thought that I just sitting there was a graduate student. And it was simply because of that confidence. I think that that's kind of insane. Of course, the confidence didn't last. I did talk confidently about what I know about the computers, but at the end, when he was leaving, he asked me my name, and I kind of panicked, and then I said the name of that character I wrote for this story that I'm working on. I just panicked, and I was like, "Ah." And I'm pretty sure you could tell that, so I think the ruse is up, but before that point, the confidence held me, and it was incidental confidence. It wasn't purposeful, because the moments in which I could be confident, I wasn't. And I think that's an important lesson. I think that these moments of confidence are defining. I think that to have that sort of opportunity, I think that I've quickly become very valued as a member of the team at my job simply because I am confident in what I do incidentally, just because my name keeps coming up and I just accidentally am confident. I really don't think that anything I do has to do with skill. I don't. I think that the things that I'm getting commended for, the things that I am performing well on, are not the skill-based things. I did not fix those computers myself. I had to call in a specialist. What I'm getting, actual praise for is simply the confidence in social interactions that I formerly overly lacked. And I genuinely think that that's something that I kind of overlooked previously, but genuinely, I think that to be confident is safer than to not be confident and risk losing everything. Because I think I have a better chance of succeeding in the workplace if I am confident. And that's really changed my perspective towards the job market. And already, I have barely even changed anything, but already I've gotten a lot more job offers since I started being more confident. And I think that that's really strong. I think in the last video, the last, sequential video on this channel, not the last one in the series, I watched this video about true loneliness, the spiritual solitude of the soul, and all these things about how in order to love others properly, you have to love yourself first. I don't think that's the case. I think that you have to have a learning moment like this where you fully understand confidence in a way that you haven't before. And that's what I did. I think I'm I'm obviously not the most confident person in the world, and I don't think that I will be. I think that it's a sort of cheap trick that I've been able to get one over on the actual competent people and pretend that I'm competent and confident. And I think it is the illusion of skill and not the skill itself that comes with confidence that makes you desirable to employers. And that's why I think confidence is important. There were a few more things that I wanted to say, but they're not really coming to mind right now. And I need to get to the job that I was just talking about. So that's going to be all for me. But until next time, adieu.